right, well, delay another key feature of the Obamacare enrollment process by a month after next year's midterm elections. Curious, so says Republican Texas Congressman Louie Gohmert, who says there's no coincidence here. What do you make of that?
Well, it points out just how determined that Harry Reid and the Democrats were to shut down the government back October 1st. You know, we had, of course, the first bill we passed would totally defund Obamacare. That we knew it would hurt people. But then we went straight to a big compromise, a one-year suspension of the whole thing. That really gave
That's what's happening now.
That really gave them an out. And Neil, you know, there's an old Chinese proverb about giving your adversary a graceful way to exit. That was it. They could have said, Republicans, those mean people are going to make us delay this for a year. Oh, shucks, what can we? And he was adamant. He wanted to shut down. So we compromised against ourselves, which I didn't think was smart.
No, that's a good point. I mean, in the end, you're getting that and all, but he's actually doing it for other reasons, because obviously the impact of all of that is going to be devastating on tens of millions of folks who will likely, at the very least, see their policies dumped, if not charged a lot more. So he's trying to save that after the election, the reality of that.
Right.
But I would imagine you're not going to let that happen.
Well, we know that people are getting hurt. I mean, I heard the president read Jessica Sanford's letter, and I thought, okay, well, they found one person in the country that Obamacare has really helped. And then
I think the ratio is the people who are doing okay versus not.
I don't know. The people in East Texas, you know, it was like 1,000 to 1 the other way. So I don't know who they're going to find that they can say, hey, here's somebody to actually help.
But
it obviously wasn't
a disaster.
Jessica Sanford.
But, you mentioned Texas, Congressman. While you're here, and this being the 50th anniversary of the JFK assassination, we were talking during the break about how Texas had just had a stigma and a scarlet letter attached to it for so long. Despite all the friendly crowds and everything else, it was as if that was hate city, hate state. It was a tough time.
It was tough, and it was tough. I was a little bitty kid, and I mean, I'll never forget our elementary teacher coming in and saying, President Kennedy has been shot. And we couldn't believe it, and we let out school, and people were crying all over. I lived 100 miles in Mount Pleasant, east of Dallas, but we just couldn't believe it. You know, we pride ourselves on hospitality, and you know, Kennedy. I know there were people that were saying he was trying to win back Texas, but my understanding from the talk back in the 60s, I love to overhear the adults talk, but was he was asked to come to Texas because there was a rift between Johnson and Yarborough, and there were
But Democrats. He was concerned enough. I mean, he was really blanketing the state.
He was.
One of the comments
he was trying to help.
Absolutely. One of the comments attributed to him when he was en route to Dallas, I believe, we're entering nut country. Did that sit well with Texans?
Well, I don't know. I never heard that one back then, so it was probably good that we didn't. But no, when a man's been shot and killed, there's no way you're going to hold him for some comment like that, unfortunately.
But I guess the concern was he was warned that it was a very toxic environment. His you know, ambassador and ambassador had been pushed and shoved there, and a lot of violence there already. And I don't know if Texas ever let that down. I mean, despite you see all these films there where people are clearly happy to see him and all, but
they were.
How long did it take for Texas to get over it?
I don't think it's been completely gotten over. I mean, traveling internationally, when people hear you from Texas, as we were talking off the air, they still ask, oh, yes, what do you know about Kennedy being killed? It's still internationally. People hear Dallas. I wish they thought of the soap opera or something else. But
or the Cowboys.
Or the Cowboys. But too often they think back, and especially 50 years later.
Yeah.
But it was a blot on Texas. To a man who was coming really to help heal the Democratic Party.
He really was. We forget. No, that's a very good point. Yeah. He was coming to patch over these differences.
That's right.
And I don't think there was any possibility he'd ever lose Texas. But he was concerned enough about his reelection that he did this. It was a cautious JFK, though, going there. And in retrospect, do you think it's added caution to presidents making overtly political trips?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I say that, and then we have a president that's not cautious about making any political trips. He makes them every week.
But they raise a lot of money.
They do raise a lot of money. But it does make presidents more cautious, and everybody thinks about, that scene in Zapruder having the film that went around. I've still got the Life magazine of the Zapruder film in my office from my family, our family's Life magazine. So those were tough days, and it is embarrassing. And especially, he really was being magnanimous coming to Texas.
Absolutely.
He was going to be a peacemaker and bring the factions together.
And pragmatic. Magnanimous and pragmatic.
And this is a guy who believed in lower taxes, helping the economy.
And the space program, which kind of benefited you.
Right. I like those things.
Yeah. Thank you, Congressman, very much.
Great to see you.
In the meantime, we're remembering someone else on this